your paperwork? Thank you. Alrighty. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Dr. Bryce. I am a social worker here at the Salvation Army. I do want to go ahead and inform you that I may be asking you some personal questions. I'm just going to close my door. Is that okay? Great. So again, I may be asking you some personal questions, but I do want to go ahead and let you know that everything that we say will be stated in this room. We actually have a confidentiality form that I'm going to have you sign in just a second, so you can just read over it, and the basis are that whatever you share with me, you can trust and confide in me that I won't share with anybody else unless you're at risk of hurting yourself or somebody else, alrighty? And I just need you to go ahead and sign that form and look over it for me so that we can get started. Alrighty, thank you so much. So let's go ahead and just go over your paperwork. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Don't you have everything you need to know about me in the papers that you have right there?
Yes, ma'am, I do, but this is just a piece of paper and nothing is more valuable as your words. So we just want you just to express yourself just a little bit. So just tell me a little bit.
I mean, what do you want to know? I'm at a homeless shelter, so I don't have no home. What do you want me to tell you?
Well, I do want to tell you, we want to try to address what got you here to this point. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about your childhood. Can we start there? Is that okay?
I mean, I guess, but I know it's in the folder.
Because I see right here on the emergency contents, usually people put a mother or a father, and you didn't put either.
I don't associate with my mother or my father.
Why? Because why?
My father was never in my life, and my mother was addicted to drugs, and that's why I don't associate with them. I moved myself out of the house when I was 17, and I've been on my own ever since.
Wow. And I see also that you said that you've been on your own since you were 18.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty amazing to see how strong you are. And I do commend you for coming in my office today because you seem like a really independent young lady. Like you said, you was raised yourself, like your mother and father wasn't really, they were there, but they weren't in your life as much as you wanted them to be. But you do have children, correct?
I have 3 kids.
How is your relationship with your children?
They're all I have, so we're all we got. It's strong.
That's really good. And may I ask, what is the relationship with their fathers? Like, are their fathers in their lives or anything?
I do not associate with their fathers. Their fathers don't do nothing for them. It's just us.
Alrighty. So, I also see that right here, the address part, you didn't put an address. Is there a reason?
Okay, like I said, I'm homeless. I'm going from house to house, staying with ex-coworkers because I don't have a job. I lost my job because I guess I was calling out too much because my kids were sick, and I'm gonna cater to my kids if they need me. So I lost my job, so I'm just staying at whoever house lets us stay.
And how is that? Like, are your friends welcoming? Because I know that you said that you're really independent, and I know your children are concerned. So do you feel like the environment is okay for your children, or do your friend kind of?
I don't feel like any environment will be okay for my children until we have a stable household of our own. I just don't like depending on nobody.
I could honestly appreciate that. It's the same way I am. I could really relate to that. So we also do want to let you know that some of the things that we offer here, just to see if they interest you or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I'm getting from what we're talking about. So you're used to working, so we can say that one of your goals can be to get a job. Is that correct? Yep. Alrighty, so we're going to write that down. Your first goal is to get a job. Alrighty, and you also said that you don't like the fact that you have to stay with your friends all the time, have to go back house to house and stuff like that.
Right.
So, the second goal would be get a place to stay for you and your children.
Yeah, a stable household.
Alright.
I'm Christian, so I feel like, God has a plan, so I'm going through things for a reason. Some of the choices I made some bad decisions because I was a child when I moved out of my house, and I depended on a guy to take care of me, and he turned out to be a drug dealer, and that was just something difficult I got myself into. So that's pretty much where I'm at today. I guess my choice, and also I guess my attitude, because no one really taught me how to control my anger, and I have so much anger built up just towards my mom, my dad, the guys I've dealt with. I'm taking care of 3 kids by myself. No one has ever helped me, offered to help me, and it's just hard. So I'm angry. I'm angry at the world.
And that's completely understandable. And I do want to let you know that here at the agency, we offer a variety of things. Like, we're not only going to try to get you in a home, but we're trying to provide job opportunities for you. And I also do want to let you know that we have women support groups. So there'll be other women maybe around your age, a little bit older, so you can get wisdom from them. But that also is provided. What we have is a help shelter. Is that something that you will be interested in?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And I do want to go ahead and let you know that your children will be able to stay with you at the Hope Shelter. You all will have your own room. And also there's all other families that you'll be there with, but you'll always still have your personal space.
And I just want to ask about my son Ashton, because I know some homeless shelters, they separate men and boys from their families. And I'm not willing to go through it if they try to take my son away from me and place him in a men's home, boys' home. I need all of my kids with me.
And that's completely understandable. So what we actually can do you have a specific date that you want to move into the shelter?
As soon as possible.
Alrighty, so that's perfect. So what we actually can do right now is I can go ahead and get a little bit of paperwork out for you while I call the homeless shelter, and we can see exactly how much space they have available. And I actually will ask and see if Ashton is fine to stay as well, okay? Because if he's not, then we'll just keep looking somewhere else, alright? Alright, so you can just take this paperwork while I give him a call. Excuse me for a second. I'll be right here, Miss Scott. Hi, Miss Deborah. This is Dr. Bryce. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. I was just calling because I was in a meeting with a client right now, and I just want to know if you had any available rooms at the Hope Shelter. She's a mother around the age of 23 years old, and she has 3 children. Yes, give me 1 second. Her name is Elena Stranger. Yes. And the ages of the children are 8, 3, and 5. Yes, ma'am. And also, I have just one more question. We were just wondering, would it be okay if one of her children were male? Would he still be able to stay in the shelter? All right, perfect. I'll be able to fax her information as soon as she gets done with her paperwork. All right, thank you. Have a blessed day.
Do I have to write all of their social security numbers?
If you're familiar with them, you can. If not, you can just bring your card back whenever you go to the shelter. And I was able to contact Miss Deborah, and she said it would be perfectly fine that your son stays with you. So, and they actually have a room available. So if that's the transition you want to make today, we'll be able to assist you with that today. It's completely up to you.
I'm ready to go today.
That's good. Just let me know when you're done with your paperwork.
You have a lot of questions, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We kind of ask a lot of questions so that we'll be able to assess your needs and know exactly who's going to be staying with you and just be able to understand what your needs may be. Alrighty. Thank you so much for that. I'm just going to fax that to her when we get done here. So I also wanted to ask you, how do you feel about public assistance? And I'm only asking because here at our agency, we have a connection with Greensboro Social Services. So I know that one of your goals are to, of course, have a place in your own home. And I know that the Hope Shelter, it can be temporary. So how do you feel about public housing?
I'm completely fine and open to it as long as I have a safer home for my kids.
Alrighty. So in order for me to do that, I'll just need you to sign this one more document, which is just giving me your permission to send your information over to the agency. It's not really nothing personal, but I'm just gonna send her your name and just the demographic information that you already gave to me, so that she'll be able to contact you, so you can set up an appointment with her. Alrighty. All you have to do is sign. That's okay for me to send your information to her.
So this is basically like Section 8 housing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so with Section 8, how do food stamps relate with that? Because I'm probably gonna need help with that too. Is that together or is that a separate application?
Alright, so I don't know all the basis of how the social service exactly runs, but I do know that food stamps are a part of the services that they do offer, and if you do meet the qualifications, which I think when you start working, I think there's a work limit, or you can go through classes or something like that. Whenever you start working, or whenever you do meet with the agency, you can just ask is it available, but I'm pretty sure that's available, especially since you have children. I'm pretty sure, but of course, if that's not something that they're willing to commit to doing for you, you can always come back to me and we can just reach out to another source. But we'll make sure they get taken care of. But in the meantime, the Hope Shelter will of course be helping you find a job, and we have different workshops that you can just go to. And if you go to like 3 different workshops, then we're gonna be able to get you some interviews.
And I'm just confused because you said I have to meet with someone from Section 8. Why is that necessary if you're my social worker, you helping me? Shouldn't you be able to take care of that since you have all my information?
Yes, ma'am, but because I only work at the Salvation Army, there's like a limitation. So what we do offer here, so we do have a joint relationship with social services. So I will work really closely to your social worker, and if you even have any problems, you can always bring them to me. But they're able to reach more into the governmental status of social work and be able to provide finances and nothing like that. My agency, we just provide the resources to get you to those financial supplemental things you may need. So that is why, but don't feel like that's your only choice. If you feel like they're not getting the job done or they're not done for you, I am here to advocate for you and make sure that you get what you need.
Okay, I appreciate that. I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, you know, my baby daddies or whatever, like my second baby father that I have 2 kids with, he is kind of abusive, and it's not that I'm running away from him, but I just want to make sure that me and my family are protected. I don't know what you guys do to protect your...
We honestly, we have security for 1 at the shelter, and for 2, he should not know any whereabouts. He won't get whereabouts from me, or if he comes to the shelter and say does Lena strike us to here, they will not be allowed to tell him yes. We do not allow to get that information. Actually, their visitation is very limited in the shelter because of other families that live there, so he won't be able to get into access like that. And if it ever goes too far, you can come let me know, and we can try to get a restraining order or whatever is needed, because we want to make sure that you and your children are safe. But as to get into where you and your children lay your head, that will not happen, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that.
You're so welcome. So before we just wrap it up for the day, I do want to appreciate you for coming to meet me today. How do you think it went?
I think it went really well. At first, I was kind of stubborn. I didn't want to come. But you opened my eyes and showed me how many choices I have. So I just appreciate you for taking the time to talk to me.
You are so welcome. I really do appreciate that. But I do want to let you know, it's not going to just be a one-time thing. We're going to make this regular. So are you okay with meeting me every week at this time?
If the Hope Home Shelter helps me get a job, then we go work around that schedule.
Of course. And I'll be calling to check in. I'll come visit you and everything. So it'll be fine. We can work around whatever schedule, because of course your job is going to be your priority whenever you do start. Well, we'll work around it, but I do want to make sure that we're keeping in touch, and this is not just like a one-time thing.
Alright, that's fine with me.
Alrighty, so again, it's nice to meet you.
It was nice meeting you.
I'll see you next week. Enjoy your day.